What's up, everybody? Hey, it's Oliver the Wolf Guy. Probably figured that out already. First, I want to showcase something fun here, right? So you guys kept, it's because of you, on the Nicest Wolf video, you guys all kept saying, if not friend, why friend shaped? And I had to go look it up. It was a meme, obviously, from, well, originally it was a Scientific American article about grizzly bears asking the question, if they're not friendly, why do they look friendly, right? But you guys decided that Ickneck hair was shaped like a friend, even though maybe he's not friendly. He's friendly to me, by the way. But I thought it was such a cute thing that I turned it into shoppable merch. So for those of you that want your own, if not friend, why friend shaped hoodie, like this one, you could get that from me. Comes in a bunch of sizes, a couple styles, and I'll link those in this video once we sort out a little challenge we're having with the integration between Shopify and TikTok. But you'll be able to get this and enjoy it. I'll also be showcasing the t-shirt, the cropped hoodie, like there's a whole bunch. But that's not the main goal of my talk here. That's just because TikTok has all these rules that if you want to link something, you have to make sure that you're actually showcasing it in the video. But a while ago, we asked you guys, like, what are the top problems that you're having with your dogs? So, and we got some great questions for sure. And recall. Recall is really tough. And there are plenty of experts out there on recall. And I'll have to say, you know, with these guys, recall is a very interesting phenomenon because, you know, first of all, we don't do no fences, off a leash. That's a very risky endeavor with these animals, right? I mean, right, they're perfectly happy to be wild animals. Hey, what is happening? You guys are stepping on her. Like, there is no cure for rude. Hey, come on, Ickneck. She doesn't want you guys to step on her right now. She's maybe not feeling so awesome for some reason. Come on, Nepende, you too, right? So I have a lot of recall with my guys. We do not, ooh, I almost walked into a tree. We do not, hey, Ickneck, she doesn't want it right now. No, hey. Hey, come here. She doesn't want it right now. Yeah, she's trying hard to tell you guys to leave her be right now. I'm gonna have to investigate that here in a minute. But for now, why don't you guys come over here? Come on. So, within habitat here, and I don't have treats in my pocket, I have reasonable recall. Of my Malamutes, I have exceptional recall. And of these guys here, we don't play because they're not food motivated a lot of the time, not for treats. The girls especially, the boys like usually have a little more of an appetite and they'll actually cooperate a bit on recall. But you know, people who are doing very structured recall training, what they tend to do is they use a lot of treats, variable rewards, and they work it with ever increasing length of long lines until they have, you know, clip free, high standard recall, which is, you know, 99% recall. I don't train to anything like that standard because these guys are my teammates, not my inmates. And I respect that I don't know anybody in the world, including my colleagues some of whom are world-class animal trainers for film, believe that they have sufficient recall with a wolf that they go free, right? Like even when they're doing, you know, big production, they have full-blown electric fencing around the working area so that if the animals are unclipped, they're not escaping. But for dogs, right, like it's increasing. So first of all, you want to be seen as the source of everything good so that their main focus is always you, right? They want you want the dog to always be thinking of that. That's all the good stuff, right? Whatever's in dad's pocket is amazing. Dad is always offering me the best, right? I am the remote control for everything amazing in life. And if you can deliver that, then you've got, ostensibly always more interesting than whatever else is out there. One of the ways that when we do work recall stuff, the things I recommend are, number one, if you're working with a dog that's recently fed and not very hungry, then you're not as enticing if your primary tool is a reward, right? So, it's just like if you've had a big meal, you're not that motivated to go get something out of the fridge, right? Or whatever. But if your animals are a little bit hungry, then you have a much higher probability that they're going to pay attention to you, especially if they've associate you with great food. We hand feed everything to our animals for a very long time. So knowing that, we have the highest probability that they're going to pay attention to us when we call them. And particularly if they have confidence that, when you call, it's good stuff, right? Like, one of the things I see that's a mistake, it's a huge mistake. What's going on? Yeah, they're just playing. Is when people have a dog or they're having a recall problem and they get more and more and more frustrated that the dog isn't coming. And then the worst case is finally the dog comes and the person is so mad that they are terrible to the dog when it does what they finally want, right? So the things I recommend are, number one, don't assume recall works because you want it to. Make it a priority, train for it. And the way you train for it is by, first of all, making sure that your dog associates you with awesome stuff and deliver awesome, right? It's your job to deliver awesome. The next thing is do those sessions when your dog is going to be motivated to get treats because they're hungry, right? Just because it's convenient for you to go do a session right after you fed your dog, you're not going to get the result you want. Third is make sure your dog is tuned into you. So people sometimes I get comments on my videos about how I use my voice when I'm working with the dogs, but I'm speaking their language. Third is, especially if you're in a circumstance, like, first of all, let's just say you didn't do any of the stuff I'm telling you. You didn't do treat training. You're not focused on getting your dog to behave with you during sessions. You've just done none of it, right? And now you've got your dog off a leash and the dog is, not paying attention to you because something happening is more interesting, right? Well, what you usually see in people that are doing this wrong is, so the dog's not coming, right? And now the person is pursuing the dog while calling the dog, getting more and more frustrated. And dogs are incredibly, incredibly tuned into our, the tone of our voice and our body language, right? And if our body language is mad and approaching, you're probably not going to get what you want, which is recall, right? So, let's just do a little test here. Oh, they're playing. So they just took off running over. Something over here is interesting. It's not me, right? I'm just here talking to a phone. But let's see what happens here. So watch what I do. First of all, high-pitched voice. I'm not pursuing her. Oh, here she is. So I have very good recall with Nepente. And Malamutes in general tend to be crappy recall dogs because that's not, they're not a retriever, right? And they're really aloof and independent most of the time. But when I need my dog to come, and it's not, let's just say she's off a leash and she's doing something I don't want. Right, I start walking away. I'm moving. I'm not going towards her. Right, and ostensibly, you'll see, she starts to pursue me. Right, my voice is, "Hi, oh, good girl." He's the best. I don't even have a treat, but she just knows, and you'll see she's here. Right, is I'm the most interesting guy in the room to her. Right, I am the most interesting person in the world. That's job one. Be the most interesting person in the world. Have the best treat in the world. And we'll talk about that one second. Work with the dog ahead of a problem so that you have recall under duress, right? And when you really need recall is when it fails, right? Is when the dog is chasing an animal or running towards a road or any of these things that suddenly become an emergency, right? When you need recall and you've blown everything else, the best thing you can do is try to be the most interesting thing, which means moving away, right? Moving away, having a high-pitched, squeaky, attractive voice, and a demeanor which tells the dog I'm not in trouble, right? So here she is, not paying attention to me, right? Engaged with everybody else. Walking away. Good girl. You're the best. I love you the most, right? And then rewarding with at a minimum with you're the best dog in the whole world and I love you the most. Oh, and then I got you too. You may be the second best. So that's how I do that, right? So thank you. This is Oliver the Wolf Guy talking about recall, how I train recall. Again, there are many dog trainers that are much better than me. That isn't what I do, is be a dog trainer. I'm a professional animal caretaker and handler. But a byproduct of 40 years is I've learned a few things about how to work with animals. And if you're having, complex behavioral challenges, I highly recommend you identify an R+ trainer, like a Karen Pryor certified or one of those people that's what they do for a living. I manage primitive animals for a living, right? But again, I hope this is helpful. We'll do more of these because it's super fun to talk about these issues and work through them. So please keep the comments and the questions coming, and I will post this one here pretty quick. And for those of you that asked about recall, thank you so much. That was awesome. This is Oliver the Wolf Guy, Executive Director of the Tahoe Wolf Center, and howls for now. Bye, guys.